It is time again to play Europa Universalis V. Now I can finally show you some more gameplay, and you can already see this is literally the last version before release 0.9.9. And I'm very proud to be able to show you that this is a sponsored video by Paradox Interactive. Paradox wanted us to show you how the release version of the game looks like, or as you can see, one patch before release version. And you can already see this is the menu that you will be starting EU5 with. And yeah, it just looks so much better than EU4, I have to say. 10 years, of course, old, the game EU4. Now it is a brand new strategy game, the grandest of all grand strategy games. And let's just go in and start with the menu, because I think, you know, it's worth a little moment to appreciate this beautiful art picture over here. And also, of course, all the options that you have. New game, load game, as obviously before that as well. But that also means that yes, you can go back to the menu and load another game without restarting the entire game, just as you had to do for EU4. So that's of course a big win for EU5, I would say. And yes, you can see it already. You can play multiplayer from day one of EU5. So I'm sure there will be crazy lobbies going to start when the game releases. But right now I'm pretty sure you all want to see the game itself. So let's just go to new game. Of course, you can see I did a test run over there already. Let's go to new game. And let's also appreciate the beautiful loading screens, as you can see. Yeah. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. And there we are back again in the loading screen of the country selection. And yes, you probably saw it in the title already. I will play another Nordic country. Paradox actually offered us like several options that we can basically choose our own nation and our own, you know, goal that we have for that campaign. So I, of course, wanted to play Greenland again, but then I already did a video on that like a few months ago, that they actually nerfed Greenland a lot. So let's just go in real quick to see what I mean. So you can see Greenland over here starts with only 1,000 like people living in the country and, you know, like 10 possible levies. This is not a standing army, this is levies. And yeah, then of course like a super low base tax. Yeah, and therefore I decided to play the better version of Greenland, which is Iceland. Now you can see Iceland starts with almost 70,000 pops living in the country. A little bit more locations, actually not that many more, but a way higher base tax and a way higher army size, and even one ship starting at the game, which is basically insane, because you can see Norway, for example, they have like 10 times more troops, but no ship at the beginning of the game, which is kind of funny, but yeah, whatever. And also only like 3 times more base tax, about 3 times more than Iceland has. So pretty comparable. Of course, I'm comparing it to Norway because I will start as a Dominion of Norway. And yeah, quite loyal, as you can see as well. But I will, of course, want to fight an independence war. And I think it's so much more viable to do that as Iceland compared to Greenland. Yeah, whatever. I want to play as Iceland, as the Jarldom of Iceland. And yeah, let's just go in. Appreciate the 3D graphics over here. Beautiful, beautiful picture of the map. And first of all, before you start the game, you need to do setup. And what I mean by that is game rules, where you can see you can enable Iron Man, which allows achievements. Now, I'm pretty sure this current version doesn't allow achievements, because the current preset, like I've done one, so I can just choose that. Basic Iron Man, like some settings have changed right now. But you can see if, for example, let's say country change, for example, if I allow country change mid-game, then you would see that would disallow achievements, which is shown by this little image over there. So yeah, you can see there's no such image at any of these selections, also not at flavor, which by the way can be if you, for example, set the date of the, you know, Black Death outbreak to random. It's also not achievement no achievements available then. But yeah, you can see I've got no such icon anywhere, but it still doesn't say that I can get achievements. I think that's because of the pre-release version that I'm playing on right now. Anyways, Iron Man Iceland campaign starts now. Let's just call it Viking Heaven, of course, and start the game. And start the first real game in Europa Universalis V as Iceland. Look at this, man. Yeah, you can see a lot of hints that are, you know, basically to be dealt with. But also you can see now one current navy, so that's actually a pretty funny thing because it's a traditional galley. It actually takes sailors per month to, you know, it says 0 over here, but it's like a little bit more than 0 apparently because I'm losing sailors, as you can see. So yeah, I'm going to start with mothballing that navy, obviously, so that I'm no longer losing sailors. But anyways, I think I have to fix my country first, and if some... before I can start, and if anything interesting happens, then of course I'm going to take you through. Now the first thing is, of course, at least for me, if I start the game, always this country government tab where I have to choose reforms and obviously privileges for the estates. Now my general idea of this game is to make a super strong, like, workers state for commoners and laborers and such, with one big city of where, you know, my burghers live and so on. So what I really want to do is I want to, of course, improve my crown power, because that's like how strong my country is basically. But also I want to heavily decrease nobles' influence, so I have to quite think about how to actually manage that, because you can see revoking privileges of these nobility estates actually costs 166 stability. So even if I had 66 stability right now, which I don't, then I would go from 66 to negative 100 to revoke one privilege. And at the same time, I obviously want to increase the power of the commoners, and therefore also their satisfaction, and therefore also the tax that I can get from them. But anyways, let's start with the government reforms of my country. And of course, for that also the society values actually play a big part. So for example, if I were to choose agricultural cultivation, then that would bring me to serfdom. Now serfdom, if you have a look at, where is it? There we go. Then you can see that serfdom means maximum tax for peasants estate, raw materials output, supply limit. Whereas the free subjects actually would decrease the maximum tax for peasants' estate, and also the peasants' food consumption, which is nice, but also pop promotion speed. So it's really nice if you want a lot of burgers and such. I'm pretty sure I don't want to play with that many cities, because there are honestly not that many places that are big enough to be cities in Scandinavia and such. So I really want to go towards serfdom, even though it's basically an anti-peasants agenda, if you want so. But you can, you know, you can do serfdom and still have the peasants happy, right? It's like a happy serfdom, I would say. Last but not least, there is also the missions tab, which is very important. The mission system is actually quite a fun mission system. The general idea is that you have a generic way of getting a short-term goal. Okay, so you can see there are expansion missions, politics missions, and economic missions, each like a potential of 3 in politics, potential of 2 in economic, and so on. Now these missions work like actual mission trees. You're going to see that in a second, like very small and generic ones, but like mission trees. Let me just have a look on the economic missions, because I think that will be the focus on my game in the first few years. So first of all, there is infrastructure efforts. That actually means that my king and also the king of like Norway, Sweden, and so on, which is like the personal union that is running right now, would become better in every skill, which is not really that important. And the other one is traditional economy, and that means that a designated location will gain Great Rural Center modifier for 20 years, 20% production efficiency, and that literally means I'm getting 20% out of every single production, including of course the resource gathering, I think, especially for my capital where I'm going to build buildings in a second, when I got the money of course. So let me just choose this mission over here of traditional economy, which also fits very well with the like peasants economy that I have. And now you can see this is the mission tree that I was talking about. So now you have a mission tree to basically complete this entire economic mission. Okay, so the way that this works is I have to first choose to do that task. And it is basically like all of these tasks can be done. And then in the end, this is the finishing of the mission tree in its entirety. But yeah, now I have to click on that to start the task. Now I can choose where to actually do the task, and I'm pretty sure I want to do that where the best control versus trade good like thing is. So let me just go to that. So we're producing ivory over here, but the control is only 20, and we're producing like what? Let me just have a look on that. Wool over here, which yeah, it's kind of alright. Like horses over here would be interesting as well, but the control is only 57%. So I'm pretty sure I'm just going to do that in my capital province because of the control. So there we go. And now I've immediately unlocked the next part. So I can now choose another task. For this one over here, you can see for this mission, we need at least 1 level of market village, which is just a building in my capital, and more than 0% prosperity. So just at least a little bit prosperity. So it will come over time. And this one I can do that already because the distance is of course 0 because it's my capital. So let's just click that one, manage to complete that task as well. Now, the way that this mission system works is you can choose to get rewards for each of this task in the beginning of the game, in the game settings, or to choose to only get rewards for completing the entire mission. And that's of course what I did right now with the production efficiency. You can choose that however you want. If you want to get like rewards for every task of that over here, then of course that would be probably a little bit more fun to complete this entire mission tree. But of course, you know, a little bit overpowered maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I just decided to keep it simple to just get the bonus of in the end of the mission tree. And if this video gets you hyped for EU5 yourself and you want to get the pre-order bonus before the game and start playing the game from day one, then feel free to buy the game by using the link in the first pinned comment, which gets you directly to the official Paradox Interactive website, where you can pre-order the base game or pre-order the base game and the next 4 upcoming DLCs. And if you do that, then it would be really nice if you would then just use a promo code. It doesn't have to be mine, But if you just add any promo code of any content creator, that really helps out a lot, and it really helps out every content creator to keep on making content on EU5. So if you want to buy EU5 and want to support one of your creators, then this could definitely be the way to do it. But anyways, let's just continue with the video. Now the first parliament actually started, and yeah, obviously I also did a video about that. The parliament is not only for the like the parliament issue that you start with, right? So for example, right now it's expand officers list, which actually, while the debate is issue is debated, it gives the peasant loyalty. And if the debate passes, you gain like a new character, right? Of the, I think he is from the peasants estate. Now, of course, that would be nice, but on the other hand, I would like to change some laws. And that's where I'm going to use my parliamentary support for. So the way that this works is I did already a few of these agendas. They give you support of that, specific estate. So that's why the nobility is giving me so much more support than the peasants over here, for example. Now, what I want to do is I want to ask for law changes. And what I want to change is first. Oh, of course, you can do that every time you have a parliament. But first, I want to change education of the masses. Now, you can see right now I've got religious teachings, which gives like everyone at least some literacy. But also gives clergy estate satisfaction, which is not really the problem, right? I mean, if clergy is revolt, then I still have the nobles to fight them. But what I care about is the thing that uneducated masses gives. Now, first of all, it only increases the literacy of nobles and clergy, not as also for burghers, peasants, laborers, and so on. But also it gives an additional 5% nobles estate satisfaction, which is very important to keep my country from having a civil war, basically. And also it gives progress towards traditionalist, which is very important. You can see estate satisfaction, loyalty again, stability, investment costs, and so on, right? So really important, of course. Institution cost hurts a lot, but yeah, you have to pay at some point. The other one is, of course, a monthly progress, additional monthly progress towards a serfdom. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to lose no stability, just 50% support in the Alting. And there we go. Now it will be implemented, and therefore I'll get even more loyal nobility and more progress towards the society values I want. Okay, this is really something interesting that happened right here. Now I've got the civil war. That is, of course, because I went below 30 legitimacy, and that was because of like a few events where I had to choose between nobles, loyalty, and legitimacy. So I obviously had to choose to lose legitimacy. Now, whatever, that means that there is a civil war right now, which, actually disaster actions, which unlocks disaster actions, of course. But honestly, if they win, I would really like that, I think, if I had my own ruler at least. But I'm not entirely sure if that's actually possible because of that like special government type that I am. But this is King Magnus of also, of course, Sweden, Norway, and so on. You can see the end requirements are at least one of these, greater or equal legitimacy than 64, or that, they either successfully assassinated my ruler, or that there are no more conspirators. And that's basically the way, so it works through like an event that can happen. As you can see, 17% per month. Oh my god. So first of all, the Renaissance appeared. I don't really care about that. It's going to take ages for me anyways. But a band of assassins, no doubt funded by the shadowy conspirators, has made a daring attempt on the life of King Magnus of, by the way, keep in mind, King Magnus of Sweden, Norway, Scania, Iceland and Greenland, and the leader of the Swedish-Norwegian Union. And there is a 75% chance that he actually dies, which will conclude the coup d'etat disaster negatively. Let's see what happens, man. He actually died. He actually died. The the Swedish-Norwegian Union king died because of a coup in Iceland. That's a nice thing to see, man. Okay, so we get a nobles regency. I think we are still like, let's just see. Yeah, we are still a dominion of Norway. Norway has another ruler though. So Norway has like a captain as a ruler, whereas we have a nobles regent on our own, apparently. Icelandic culture. And yeah, apparently this also gives nobles loyalty, as you can see, during regency. There we go. So, and he's a pretty nice ruler. Man, he's a pretty nice ruler. Crazy. And I can actually now control him because he's my own ruler. Man, this could actually be the turning point of this campaign. Maybe from now on, it's actually going to go better than before. And there it is. We all knew it would come eventually. 1346, historical start of the Black Death. And yeah, that means that from now on, I will be losing a lot of money. And that's because, and a lot of satisfaction actually for the estates more than money, because yeah, you can see my trade income isn't that high anyways, but the satisfaction is going to go down and therefore the tax is probably going to go down. But yeah, whatever. I need to isolate myself, of course, right? Now I can't isolate the country yet because I don't have any, like, Black Death province owned by me. But what I can do is I can stop all trades, of course, that I'm doing right now. So just like that. And yeah, I'm actually quite... I think nobody else is trading with me anyways. So yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And we're just going to sit on our island and wait until this mess is done with Europe. You know what's funny? I'm actually making more money right now because I'm not paying for the maintenance of the trade. But yeah, of course, like the people are lacking a lot of goods now. Now I'm really getting unlucky here, man. I've got another civil war, really, another civil war. Or rather not a civil war, but a, how you call it, coup attempt. And yeah, it's because, again, I had like some events for legitimacy and so on. Even though I'm like paying a lot right now to get stability and legitimacy up again, there was like a 1% chance per month, right, for that to trigger. And in 6 months, I would have had enough legitimacy to stop that from happening. So you can see the Black Death is only active in just a few more provinces on the mainland. So yeah, I think I can actually start fulfilling the needs of my population again, because yeah, they are kind of rebellious because of that. Therefore, I think I should now start trading again. A very interesting option, actually. I can buy a new galley, traditional galley in a province over there. Doesn't really matter. I could use that as a second ship for my fleet, of course. Now it costs 16 gold. Okay. And it also gives me navy tradition and prestige. I am going to do that. And the only reason for that is that I'm going to go bankrupt, like a planned bankruptcy, in the next few months anyways. I just wanted to get my stability up to 50 and then I'm going to go bankrupt. But yeah, just like that, I've got another galley that I'm going to use for that fleet right now. Of course, mothball them again. And yeah, 2 ships, man. If you compare that, for example, to Sweden, they have 0 ships right now. Norway has 0 ships. Denmark has 17, as you can see, but also they have only 2 galleys. So owning 2 galleys is actually quite a big navy for this current stage of the game. And as I'm going to go bankrupt anyways, I'm going to talk about that in a second. I think that is a very worth investment right now. This is now the time to go bankrupt. You can see I've just got 7 stability with this event over here, as well as more progress towards traditional economy, which is also quite nice. Now, just take that already. Now the thing is, why I want to go bankrupt right now. First of all, I'm paying almost 0.6 ducats for interest right now, okay? I've got an interest of 90 ducats almost, as you can see. And yeah, I mean, you can see I'm paying like more than a third of my entire income on interest, okay? Now, the other thing is that having debt to your estates, which these are estate loans that I have, actually heavily reduces your crown power. You can see my crown power right now is reduced by 36% because of my current debt. Now that means that the crown power is going to change a lot, okay? But only after a certain time. So let me just explain how bankruptcy works. You can see if I declare bankruptcy, all our debt will be forgiven, but the consequences on our economy and relations with our leaders will be severe. We will lose 50 stability. That's why I, saved up that much stability to not go into negative. And also for the next 90 months, I'm going to lose 90% crown power. Now, of course, I have positive modifiers, so it won't really be like 0%, but it will probably be around like 5%, 4% maybe. And also the estate satisfaction equilibrium of nobles and clergy goes down by quite a bit. Now, I don't want to construct anything. I don't want to take any new loans. I don't care about my great power score. Monthly research progress hurts a little bit. But, I can't do anything about it. Monthly prosperity also hurts. Top promotion speed and demotion speed changes. And you can see that they are basically meant to demote because of the bankruptcy in your country. I'm not entirely sure if that actually also counts for like nobles and clerics. But yeah, by the way, also morale is really not important at all. So let me just see how many clerics and nobles I have right now. So right now I have about 300 nobles and 500 clerics. Now the question would be, if they demote, then of course that would be a good thing, because then I would have less power of clerics and nobles and more on the commoners that I actually want. But let's see if that actually works like that. Of course, I don't want to promote anyone anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Also interesting is that there will be a plus 0.5 monthly progress towards traditional economy, as you can see over here, for the 60-month period, for 5 years basically, which actually means that it will go further. So the way that it works is, you can see right now the equilibrium is 30 because of the monthly change of 0.3. Okay, so with the additional 0.5, the equilibrium will be not 30 but 80, and therefore even go further, and probably get me a little bit more of food production and raw materials output, which is actually a quite nice modifier, honestly. And I can't bother to get to capital economy anyways within the next 200 years. So it's really better for me to just focus on one thing hard, and therefore actually the bankruptcy helps me with that. Okay, so let's just do it and see if our country actually collapses or if I can take it. There we go, confirm bankruptcy. Actually, I've got money, which is funny because the treasury was set to 1 gold and I had less than 1. So yeah, I gained money from that apparently. And also I'm making money now, even though I have a pretty high stability investment still. And yeah, therefore also cost of court and so on. Okay, so you can see I'm actually at 1%, man. Okay, yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. I'm actually at 1%. I'm losing money right now, which means that I have to, yeah, actually reduce my stability investment by quite a bit. Let's just go for actually 0 because I'm still making 0.2. And also let's reduce the cost of court to the, let's say, absolute minimum over here. Okay, so now I'm making money, I'm making stability. The equilibrium is still almost at 50. Now obviously the tax decreased a lot because of my reduced crown power. I think after 5 years, so in 1363, we will be in a way better situation than we were before the declaration of bankruptcy. Apparently, the first year of bankruptcy was an exceptional year, giving me 10 gold immediately, man. I never had so much gold in my treasury ever before. Now, because of the passive growth of favors to your overlord, I can actually ask Norway for money in return for favors, and they would give me 36 gold, which is, yeah, like I have more money now than in the beginning of the game for the first time of the game. So yeah, I think we are looking into a bright future for this Iceland, even though we are still in the 2nd year of bankruptcy. And where that song comes in perfectly, you can see we are bankrupt just for another 8 days, and then the bankruptcy, the pain is over, and we will be prosperous again. Now you can see also the tax efficiency, for example, is greatly reduced by the crown power. That is at least at 4% by this point. Now remember when I said, I think I said we had about 300, right, nobles and about 500 clerics. You can see the numbers decreased dramatically. And now instead of, I think, like 14% commoners estate power, we have 26% commoners estate power and only 36% nobility power instead of the 50% that I had before. So, funnily enough, this entire bankruptcy was really the best thing that I could do in this situation. And yeah, now, of course, the 90% modifier is going to weigh in the next month. So let's just see on how much crown power we end up without the loans and without the bankruptcy modifier. And you can already see the income increased dramatically. You can see that from like 0.3 to 0.8. So 0.5 ducats or gold rather that I make more. And now I have finally a decent amount of crown power, 23% crown power. And I can really say, man, in this case with the bankruptcy, the pain was really the salvation. You can see the nobles only have below 30% power or estate power. And that means that if I want to revoke privileges, it only costs me 77 stability right now. So at this point, I can really manage to get more crown power, less power for the nobility, and give out more privileges and more power to the commoners because the nobility doesn't own my country anymore. And now that I've fixed my economy, I can actually start making some progress, and that involves moving my capital. Now, you see I have an like the parliament issue available right now, and I finally got one that promotes urbanization. That means that one of my ranks will become a town basically for free. Now normally if you have a look on the settlement thing over here, if you want to make that a town, you need to spend 400 gold and also glass on doing so. So it's like a huge thing to do that with the parliament. Now obviously I want to have my capital there because of the increased control on that province. Now I'm also pretty sure that putting my capital on a coastline actually increases my like control, I think, over all the other coasts right now, because you know, like I have, for example, to all of these 13s on, or this 14 or something, I don't really have a road towards these provinces, and I hope that it gets better when I have a port in my capital. Now that means I want to move my capital to this province over here that I won't try to pronounce. Now, because this one will of course become a town if I finish the, you know, the parliament thing. To do that, you can actually move your capital by this interaction over here, move your capital, and you just need a lot of goods for that. And also, as you can see, 15.3 gold and 20 stability. So I'm just going to pay that right now. And that then moves my capital, but not directly. What it does is it takes time. And you can see it also takes a lot of resources. Now, it takes books, which is very difficult to keep in the market if you don't produce it, because the burghers are just exporting everything, even though I don't have any burgher estate yet. So I'm just using like every market that I can buy books of right now. So I hope it will be possible to do that. And also I need to import more masonry. You can see also paper, like I've got a little bit of stockpile already. And lumber is not a problem at all. And then it takes around, you know, half a year to move your capital to that province. And oh my god. Okay. What actually happens is I paid like 12 ducats or so to try to turn, you know, like rocks into gold. And, you know, it actually worked. You can see I've gained like gold, silver, iron and lead in my market, not in my treasury directly. But I think that means that I can actually mint right now. So let me just see if that's true. Yeah, you can see it's true. I can actually mint coins now, and a new capital has been established, which means that now I can do the alting with promote urbanization in my capital, for my capital. There we go. And the parliament has agreed, which means that this capital province of mine is now a town location rank, meaning that in the next month there should be nobles appearing. Yeah, burghers, of course. I mean, nobles are there anyways. And soldiers, very interesting. So we've got soldiers and burghers now. And if I'm correct, then that also, yes, enables me the burgher's estate. He actually has basically no power right now, which is a good thing. But he already starts with 2 privileges. It is finally time I can actually revoke the first privilege of the nobility. Now, I could, of course, wait until their satisfaction is a little bit higher, but yeah, I can't be bothered, man. I just got like a temporary modifier to my crown power from the parliament. So they have only 27% right now. And this one gets rid of an additional 50%, like, you know, multiplied modifier. And that means that they are only at 23% power right now. And I'm at with the temporary modifier, of course, at 34%. And by the way, with just building like a masonry and also, where is it, a marketplace in the former capital of my country where I started this mission tree in, with that I could actually fulfill all of the other missions. You can see it just needs to have 2 buildings, which it obviously has right now. And yeah, I'm going to finish this task right now, which completes the entire mission. And therefore I'm getting, for 20 years now, 20% production efficiency. And you can already see how crazy that actually affects my income. And I can ask my overlord for money again, which is 55 gold this time. So yeah, another building finance. Okay, so now the Age of Discovery starts. We are January 1437 right now, exactly 100 years played. Of course, we start in April, but you know what I mean, 100 years played. And yeah, I have to choose a focus again, and I will be choosing the administrative focus in this one. This is just because it gives a lot of modifiers that are actually interesting for my economies, such as this one, for example, 25% trade capacity, very powerful. Also a little bit to colonization. We'll see how far I can get with that. But yeah, all the other ones, this is like basically only focused on colonization. This is only focused on military. This is focused on like a few different administrative things. And yeah, that's why I'm going to take that. And you can also see that the situation of my land actually improved by a lot. If you can notice, I got way more population, as you can see. Like starting over here with 67,000, now we are at 87,000. And also the income, actually. So the thing is, I have an income of 10 gold per month, and the balance is almost 4 gold per month. Now you're going to notice that there is a huge debuff, which is being the Dominion of Norway, negative 2.4 gold. And this is not scaled with like crown power and so on. This is just straight up expenses that I do from my own treasury, okay, as the country. And therefore now I want to do whatever I can to become independent and yeah, get this 2.5 ducats of extra income, simply extra income immediately. Now for that you can see I already built a manpower building in my capital, so I have some manpower. I also created another city, which with the parliament actually, which is over here, where I'm now going to try to build a road towards that other city from my capital to yeah, increase the control a little bit. Because you can see like it's only 21% proximity to my capital. And then I can build like manpower buildings in there as well. And yeah, I've got the money to get armies later on, but the biggest problem is right now I literally can't declare wars on Norway. You're going to see, of course, I would have the independence war goal, but I cannot declare a war on them because they are in a union with the one or more blockers. And if I hover over that, it says Norway has senior partner status in the Swedish Union. I'm not entirely sure what that means because I want to attack the senior partner, right? So I'm not entirely sure why this would be a problem to declare war on them. But whatever, there is another option to get independent, and that is by getting below 50% loyalty. Now you can see I'm only at 57% already with a special action that I'm doing right now with the cabinet member. Now I'm just waiting for either getting stronger so that this modifier goes down, or for like events that reduce my opinion of them, which happened before. And as you can see, I only need like a little bit more, and then I'm disloyal. And what I can do then is I can start an independence movement against them, and I'm pretty sure that then I will be able to become independent. But yeah, whatever, I'm going to try to manage to do that, improve my economy even further, improve my manpower even further, and hopefully then I can get the independence in this age. Oh man, this was pretty tough, man. This war alone, I mean, you probably noticed that I didn't record my voice saying stuff to the battles or something. That's because I basically tried this war once before, where I didn't recruit all of my levies with the normal troops. That didn't went very well. They sent like 10,000 troops on my island. I couldn't defend myself, so I had to restart this war and try it again, just as I did right now. And yeah, you could see in those battles that, actually with those like levies that I had as well, I was actually beating them up like pretty easily with like my numbers advantage and my quality advantage. And now a very interesting thing happened, which is honestly a very good new implementation of the game, that I can actually enforce my peace because it is the Icelandic-Norwegian War for independence, of course, for my independence, and 550 days or 545 days passed since I've got the full war score from the war goal. So you can see I've got 25% from the war goal of nothing being occupied in my country, of course. And then also 12% from battles, which is quite nice, honestly. But the thing is that I can't really take anything, right? Because normally if I would want to make peace, you can see they would accept this one. But for example, if I do something else, like just take a little bit of money, you see this is the actual war score, right? So I have 38 war score, and there is a base of negative 25 of, not accepting anyways. And then on top of that comes like the war enthusiasm and so on. And like it will probably go down, but you can also see the peace offer is like 61 war scores, so, or more like 61 reasons. But yeah, that means that the only thing I can really do is I can get my independence. And yeah, honestly, it's a perfect timing right now, because if I go to the market right now, you're going to notice that the food supply is actually running a little bit low. And I was paying like a lot of money in winters to buy food. So yeah, perfect timing. I'm just going to piece him out right now for my independence. And now remember the time that I started this campaign with a super low income, 40,000 pops less. And of course, way less powerful army. And now here I am soloing my independence war versus Norway. There we go. This is it. The war is over. I can disband my levies now, make a little bit more money. I'm actually way above my expected armies, I think. Let's just see. Yeah, my expected armies is like 330 and I've got 1.6 thousand. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep them. Of course, what I want to do is definitely to turn off the maintenance of both army and navy. Now you can also see I'm making money again. When I wouldn't buy food, of course, I would make six ducats per month, even 7 almost, which is a huge achievement, while still, of course, running like 1.6 thousand armies, right? And there you can also see the levies are returning to their population place, and therefore I've even got more than 100,000 population right now. And the war exhaustion goes down, and I'm finally an independent country. Okay, so something really interesting happened. Apparently after I got independence, my ruler still, or my heir basically, was still the same guy. So now he's my king, as you can see, 17 years old. And yeah, about a year or so, I was just independent with like having the same king as Norway and Sweden and so on. You can see it's like a king of Sweden, Norway, Javor, which is inside of Bohemia, funnily. And then also Jarl of Greenland, Iceland, Orkney, and the leader of the Swedish-Norwegian Union. And I entered the Union again because of that fact that we are literally ruled by the same ruler, right? By the same person. But I'm not a subject. You can see the subjects of Norway are like Merseburg, Ratzeburg, Orkney, and Greenland. And then Sweden has only the subject of Finland. So what happened is I literally joined that union, that Swedish-Norwegian Union, as an independent partner, not as a subject. So I'm literally right now part of the union again, but not as a subject, as an independent nation. And what is also interesting is that I guess because of that, the union integration level is literally 0 right now. And before that, it was actually like 3 on both of Norway and Sweden, which means that Norway and Sweden would always just enter the wars, also aggressive wars, at the same time. So yeah, kind of interesting what happened over here. And I'm not entirely sure what that exactly means, but there are no union policies, and about the union federation and so on. It's really interesting stuff now going on. Okay, and now I've just got an event for 100 ducats from the parliament. Now I've got more than enough money to do the next step towards a proper independent nation, and that includes institutions. Now you see there are 4 institutions that are missing actually, which are pretty important, especially like New World for colonizing, Pike and Shock for military. And I really need to embrace them to research in the current age, because you can see right now I can't research anything, for example over here, unless I basically research the technology. And the interesting thing is you can get institutions by trading. So for example, right now the trading capital, or the center of the market that I'm having, is in my capital that I had in the very beginning of the game. So over here. Now you see the institutions are spreading super slowly over here. And that is mainly also because of location size and movement costs, for example. And therefore I want to move the center of my market to my capital, where you can see there are only 6,000 populations over here, whereas 25,000 in this capital. And then of course this one will be closer to that as well. So the way that I can do that is that I select the market and right click on that market, that you're going to notice opens a menu where I can now relocate the market for 800 ducats. Now that's a pretty tough price, honestly, but it is worth it, I think, to get any institutions also long term, because I'll be isolated, of course, always. And yeah, now what I'm going to do, I move my market center to my current capital and biggest city. There we go. So now if I open my market, you can see the market center is in my capital now, and it's also called like my capital now, the market name at least. And that means that I'm now getting institutions, and now it's time to fulfill the destiny of our forefathers and start going to the new world. Now, of course, if I started as Greenland, I would have the range already from, Greenland towards the New World. But as it is right now, if you have a look on the colonial map mode, the furthest that I can go is to Greenland itself, which is honestly fitting as well, as it were, of course, Icelandic colonizers in Greenland, and all of that stuff is Icelandic population as well. And they also have the same ruler as I have. So basically, it's just some other Vikings colonizing there. On top of that, I can, of course, now start an exploration mission. You can see I can now start to explore the Greenland area or the Western Sahara area. But of course, I'm going to go for Greenland here for 250 sailors and 100 immediately spent gold, as well as 10 per month, which is fine. I've got the money, as you can see. There we go. Let's start. Send him to prepare the exploration to Greenland. And now that I've got some money again, I can also immediately start a colonial charter on the edge of Greenland, down in the very south, which is actually an uncolonized location. And yeah, I'm just going to start it, send people from South Farthing, of course, because yeah, it is basically the only place where I have actual population to send over. So there we go. Started to send a colonial charter. Building the university actually increases the institutions by quite a bit. As you can see now, also the New World is spreading at least a little bit. And also that unlocks a new law, which is education of the elites. Now let me just have a look at that and see what I want to choose from that. And I think I go for mixed institutions over here because, yeah, I don't want to lose any satisfaction equilibrium from the nobility especially. And yeah, it's pretty good actually to get an additional artist if I have more money later. And the literacy of nobles and burghers is actually not bad, whereas the literacy of peasants might be a problem if they no longer produce the food I need. So yeah, whatever, I'm going to take mixed institutions here. Okay, so I'm not sure what happened over here, but apparently Greenland became independent as well. Maybe some nobles won or something, I don't know. But yeah, that's actually a very good thing, because you can see my colony is right now at 100%, which means that on the next month I will get this location transferred to my direct ownership, as there are now 1,000 population in that province. There we go. The colony is finished, integrated part of Iceland. And that of course means that on the next parliament I can actually get a CB versus Iceland and conquer them. And now I can actually declare the war against them. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of attrition over here because of the winter. But yeah, they have literally 0 troops, so I really don't care, man. Declare war, select the parliament-approved claims on the province. And yeah, I'm just going to pay a little bit stability, doesn't really matter. There is the first expansionist war of the Jarldom of Iceland. That's 100% war score. As I said, they have no troops at all. Yeah, and obviously I want to take literally everything from them. Just overtake their lands, basically. You can see they will accept also 10 ducats as well. That's it. Perfect. I'm just overtaking Greenland again. There it is. This is now proper Iceland over here. And yeah, of course I'm going to get my troops over again because there's literally no food over here. By the way, I just noticed that Orkney is actually also independent, and yeah, they even have institutions, by the way. But yeah, I've got a claim on throne CB on them, probably because of the earlier union that I had over them, or that like Norway had over them. Now, they literally have only like 100 levies or something, so yeah, why not? I'm just going to go in, declare war on them for the claim on the throne, and yeah, just take Orkney as well. Why not? We are going to overtake the North Sea now. Okay, so I've got 100% war score, and yeah, I can now make them a union partner. Now, I'm not entirely sure how this works. I never really played around with unions, especially not as a smaller partner. Now, obviously, I am already in a union, so the question is, am I creating a new union, or are they just joining that older union? Because if yes, then I would rather just annex them, but let's just test it out. Okay, Orkney is just in this union now, with me now. Honestly, it doesn't really help me to do that. Guys, I think it was a mistake to take Orkney into a union. Actually, I thought, you know, I would just let them be, but yeah, the problem is, if I go to the union right now, they started to debate the Union Foundation law, and all of the other guys are voting for established seniority, which probably means that in 3 days basically we will be a junior partner under this union. I'm not entirely sure what happens, let's just see. Now that actually means that there is a union parliament, which is interesting, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure what that means. For example, like, I can still declare my own wars actually, but I think that means that I'll be entering offensive wars of Norway as well. I'm still independent, as you can see. I'm not a subject, I'm not paying any money, and I have independent diplomacy. But yeah, maybe, honestly, maybe that's actually a good thing, because if I increase my great power rank just a little bit more, which I'm able to do with, you know, conquering a little and getting a little bit more prestige, then I might be able to even challenge Norway and then overtake all of these lands, Sweden, Norway and Orkney, for free basically, with just taking over the union. So maybe this is a possibility for the future of this Icelandic nation. And this is it. I was just waiting for such an event, because with this event I will be at 25 prestige, and that means that I can now finally upgrade my government rank to a duchy, tier 2 government rank, founding the Duchy of Iceland for just 100 gold. And yeah, you can see that normally you need actually 200,000 population or 150,000 population with primary religion, or, which is in my case, 100,000 population with primary culture or accepted cultures. And you can see this gives me all of these bonuses: diplomatic range, capacity, great power bonus. Actually, you can see right now my great power score is 76, and it will increase by 50 if I'm correct, which means that I will be climbing the great power ranks a lot by doing that. Also, I have +2 possible rivals, can guarantee, and all of that great stuff. So there we go. The Duchy of Iceland is founded. With that, we are through number 324 in great power ranks. If I remember correct, then we started at like 1400 or something. So an insane rise of the Duchy of Iceland right here. Conquering Greenland, now obviously giving me the opportunity to soon, probably when, I embrace the institution research some more, to discover the new world, and all of that while scaling the hell out of my country, having 1.2 thousand standing armies while still having a monthly balance of 10 ducats per month and a total income of almost 30 ducats per month. Which, if you set that in comparison to, for example, the Kingdom of Norway, then you can see I literally have more than a fourth of their income, and that is them having 10 times almost, or 9 times more population. And I think this is a pretty good moment to end this campaign for now. Let me know in the comments if you want me to continue this campaign, trying to colonize more in the New World, trying to overtake the Norwegian-Swedish Union, of course, and truly becoming Scandinavia in the end. But this is it for the special video for the release of EU5, and I think, honestly, if you want to start off small, not in a huge, tricky situation, and you want to just learn how the game plays, learn how to manage your estates. Remember, we started with 14% crown and now we are at 40%. And the nobility is down to 6%, as you can see. Or if you want to learn how to manage your population, you can see the population increase is literally doubled by this moment. And of course, how to scale the economy if you look at this crazy build up town that I have right here, and another town that is also super built up. Yeah, I think Iceland is actually a very strong starter pick to just learn the game, learn how it works, prepare for your independence war, and to just have fun in your first hours of EU5. But this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we are going to see on another Monday.